There is a fifth dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
Good morning, Mr. Stasiak. How are you today?
Morning, Mrs. Ricciardo. Ask me after I have my coffee.
Don't you be running in the hall now, little Paul.
Okay.
And good morning to you, Mr. Bevis.
Top of the morning, Mrs. R. Top of the morning.
Did Mrs. Chatfield fix your hot water yet?
I'm sure she will, Mrs. R. Our landlady has a lot of important things on her mind.
But how did you take your shower and all with no hot water?
Oh, it's no problem, really. In fact, I think I prefer a nice cold shower. Do you remember Bernard McFadden?
Who?
One of the fittest men who ever lived. Published magazines dedicated to health. He always bathed in ice water. Said it got the blood flowing. Do you know he never came down with so much as a cold?
Hi, Mr. Bevis.
Hi there to you, Paulie.
How's old Ironsides coming?
She's coming. Maybe she'll be ready tonight. We'll see.
Hey, going downstairs?
Oh, I thought I might, seeing as how that's the only way to get to the street.
Don't you bother the man now, little Paul.
That's all right, Mrs. R. Paulie and I are friends, aren't we?
Sure are.
Well, then, go down and play with the other children. Don't you go far, and don't be crossing the street now.
I won't. Well, what do you say, Mr. Bevis?
I don't know this morning, Paulie.
Come on, the coast is clear.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Well, then I guess, like the man said, why the heck not? Stand back. I'm coming down by the seat of my pants.
Stand back, everybody. He's sliding down the banister and he's gonna take off.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey. Excuse me, everybody. Lost my balance there at the end. Of course, it's not the first time.
Gee, Mr. Bevis, are you ever gonna get it right?
Practice, Janie. That's all it takes. Just a little more practice.
That's what you always say.
And that's what I mean. Think how much time I save every morning. Sliding down one whole floor. At least 15 seconds. Let's see, that's a minute and a quarter every week. 5 minutes a month. Why, in a year, that gives me a whole extra hour before I go to work.
Do it again.
Well, now, that would defeat the whole purpose, wouldn't it? But tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, I'll finally take flight and land square on my feet. What are you laughing at?
Your bow tie's on crooked.
So it is. Thank you, JD. Now, who wants to help me carry my briefcase?
Pick me, Mr. Bevis. Pick me. I can do it, Mr. Bevis. Pick me.
Well, then, you'll just have to take turns. And you know something else? Why, I just happen to have a whole pocket full of shiny new pennies. And they're getting awfully heavy. I don't mind tipping, for extra special service. Let me see. Anybody around here want one?
Me.
Morning, Mr. Bevis. Here's an apple for you.
Why, thank you, Tony. Don't know what I'd do without one of your apples every day.
Well, I never. Who does he think he is, Rockefeller?
Oh, that's just Mr. Bevis.
Well, he acts like some kind of crazy person.
Oh, he's not crazy. Maybe just a little, eccentric. The children all love him.
Just the same, I wouldn't trust a man like that. Look at him. What kind of example does he set? I'd say the man never grew up, like that Pied Piper fella.
Isn't that the truth? He's our own Mr. Bevis, is who he is. Guess you could say he's one of a kind.
Species of the modern American male, or perhaps not so modern after all. Name, James B.W. Bevis. He has a penchant for animals, children, attractive women, aged women, in fact, people in general. He also likes zither music, all things old-fashioned, professional football, at least as a spectator sport, as well as polkas, Major League Baseball, and Charles Dickens. Should it not be obvious by now, James Bevis is a fixture in his own private, optimistic, hopeful little world. A world which has long since ceased being surprised by him. Mr. Bevis, on whom Dame Fortune will very shortly turn her back, but not before giving him a paste in the mouth. Mr. James B.W. Bevis, who lives just 1 block into the Twilight Zone.
And now, The Twilight Zone and our story, Mr. Bevis, starring Bruno Kirby, with Stacy Keach as your narrator.
When you gonna get a new car, huh, Mr. Bevis?
He don't want a new car. He likes this one.
Sure do. This is a genuine antique. Original engine, factory paint job. The only thing I've ever changed is the tires. Funny how they still can't make tires that last as long as the car.
What's that on the windshield?
Oh, you got another parking ticket.
Keep it safe for me, will you, Paulie? Put it in with the rest of the collection.
Is it gonna start today, do you think?
Cross your fingers and toes. A bright new morning like this. We've always got hope, don't we?
Okay, do you kids know what to do?
Yeah, we sure do.
That's right. Get behind it and push. All right, she's moving. Let her go.
Everybody stand back. You can pop the clutch now, Mr. Bevis.
Go, yeah,
You gotta go. Thanks, kids. See you after work.
And whose desk is this?
Mr. Bevis's, sir?
Ah, I should have known. And where is our Mr. Bevis this morning?
I'm sure I couldn't say, Mr. Peckinpah.
Well, Margaret, when you do happen to see the gentleman who occupies this museum of junk, kindly tell him that I should like to see him personally. If and when he finally deigns to report for work, that is. Will you do that for me?
Oh, yes, sir. I'll tell him.
His desk sticks out like an infected thumb.
Yes, sir.
Amid this snowstorm of loose papers, I believe I make out a model ship, a gooseneck lamp, in the shape of an actual goose, mind you,
Cute, isn't it?
Cupid doll clock, nodding head dogs, toy kitten, yes, and unless I am mistaken, an actual stuffed ferret.
I think it's a squirrel, sir.
A veritable livestock exhibit. Perhaps I should rename this company Wild Kingdom.
Morning, Mr. Bevis.
How you doing?
Is everything okay?
Everything's dandy. Perfectly swell. Marvelous and fabulous, as always. And good morning to you, Midnight the cat. Spike the dog. And you, Mr. Rocket J. Squirrel. Been a good boy while I was gone.
Mr. Bevis.
You're looking nice too, Margaret. Pert and chipper as usual.
Thanks. Mr. Peckinpah wants to see you.
He does?
Afraid so. I'm just delivering the message.
Message received loud and clear. Just as soon as I water my potted plant.
I think he wants to see you now.
Right away. Must be something special. All right, then. Into the breach.
Good luck.
Oh, Margaret,
Yes?
one thing while I'm gone.
What's that?
Pet Midnight for me, would you please? She needs human contact.
Yes,
It's James Bevis, sir. In the flesh, so to speak.
you may enter.
What's up, do you think?
Peckinpah looked pretty mad.
Is he gonna get fired?
You can't fire Bevis.
Well, if he does, I quit.
Your desk, Bevis, is an abomination.
It is.
And furthermore, you keep a ledger like an ape.
I'll take that as a compliment, sir. Apes are very intelligent. Did you know that of all the land mammals, the ape...
Your desk is an affront to civilization. Your filing system is non-existent. In short, your eccentricities are beyond human understanding.
I'm eccentric? You're saying I'm eccentric? With all due respect, sir.
Bringing phonograph records of zither music to play at lunchtime.
I just love the Third Man theme, sir. Don't you? I've always loved it. The first time I saw that movie, it's been years now, but I'll never forget. I said to myself, Bevis, you have to get that record.
Hiring carolers to come in and serenade the office during our busiest hour.
Only at Christmas time.
If you'll let me finish.
Was it The sack, Mr. Bevis?
Yep. The old sackaroonie.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
This is the 6th job I've lost this year, Margaret. The best laid plans of mice and men, huh? And Bevis.
Oh, don't worry about it, Bevis.
There's better jobs than this. Lots better.
We're sure gonna miss you.
Here's a box for your stuff.
Thanks, everybody. My chessboard, my collection of old Mirashan pipes, my books, my pictures, and old Ironsides.
Is that what it's called?
Sure is. The USS Constitution. I was building this ship for one of the kids. Looks like she won't get launched today, after all.
Old Ironsides will get launched. You'll see. You'll get another job, Mr. Bevis. You always have.
The only job I've ever held for more than 6 months was when I was in the Navy.
Is that you in the picture there?
Yep, that's me on the deck next to the fantail.
Well, will you look at that? He's fat, isn't he?
That's the bosun's mate. This is the fantail over here. Oh, well, and she goes with all the rest.
You take it easy now.
Things will work out. You'll see.
We'll be thinking about you.
Smooth sailing, Mr. Bevis.
Thanks, everybody. I'll drop you a postcard from my next port of call. Oh, Mr. Truck Driver. Mr. Truck Driver, you don't have to double park.
No, what am I supposed to do? Park it on the sidewalk?
Park behind me. I'm leaving anyway.
Which one? Oh, let me guess. The old rattle trap, right? Anybody get hurt in that wreck?
You can have both spaces as soon as I put my stuff in the back.
Can you hurry it up?
Let me get the door open here. First, set the box down. Then get the keys out.
Hey, Mac. I ain't got all day.
Just one more minute.
If you ain't moving in 5 seconds, I'm pulling in behind you.
Be careful, would you please? This is an original Essex. Stock parts.
Okay.
Watch the bumper. It's rolling.
I only tapped it a little.
I must have forgot to set the handbrake.
That's your problem, pal.
Hey, somebody stop that car.
Yours?
Mine.
Does it do this often?
Never has before. Now it looks like it never will again. Too bad. It's been kind of like an old friend to me.
Stand back, everybody. Show's over.
I'll phone for a tow truck.
You do that.
You wouldn't be interested in purchasing an original Essex, would you? For parts, I mean, they're kind of scarce.
No thanks, pal. Me? I've kind of got my heart set on a 1924 Maxwell. Or maybe a 25. Thought I'd wait till the new models come out so I can make me a better deal.
Sure. I understand, officer. Ever have one of those days?
All the time, son. All the time. The difference between me and you is I get paid for it.
Mr. Bevis?
Where's your car?
It's in the shop.
Yeah? What you got in the box?
This? I guess you might say the stuff dreams are made of, Tommy. Something along those lines, anyway.
Hey, is that old Ironsides?
Yep. She ran aground before she could get christened.
That's okay, Mr. Bevis. You can fix it. You can fix anything.
I'll try, Tommy. Afternoon, Mrs. Chatfield.
You'll find all your things in the hall, Mr. Bevis.
My things?
Your Victrola, your stuffed animals, all of it. Your clothes, too.
Okay, I give up. What are they doing in the hall?
You're being evicted, Mr. Bevis.
I'm not sure I catch your meaning.
Evicted. 6 weeks in arrears on your rent. That's it as far as I'm concerned.
Mr. Bevis, you're still gonna finish Old Ironsides, aren't you?
Well, there may be a slight delay. I'm gonna have to change shipyards. But we'll get her launched. Yes, we will. That's a promise. We'll get launched somehow.
Yeah, but how?
I don't suppose you've ever had one of those days, have you, Tommy?
Not yet, but I think you're having one. You know what else I think, Mr. Bevis?
What's that?
I think you better say your prayers and be real good. 'Cause right about now, you need a miracle.
Better make this one your last, don't you think, Mr. Bevis?
All in good time, Joe. All in good time. I'll tell you when.
I think you forgot to tell me that a couple of drinks ago. You're not going to be driving anywhere, are you now?
Alas, I think not. Today I am, as they say, hoofing it. Once I am sufficiently fortified.
There's that word again.
Which word?
You said you wanted something that'd fortify a man in his darkest hour, so I guess you must be feeling pretty fortified by now. Them are it, huh? Your fortifications?
Those are.
Are what?
Those are it. You can't use them in a nominative case.
No kidding. Live and learn.
Yeah. Live and learn. Who's that?
Who's who?
The old gentleman in the blue suit.
Where?
Behind me. At the table. I can see him in the mirror.
I don't see nobody.
Right over... Wait a minute. Where'd he go?
Search me.
Perhaps you can explain to me, Pete, what you put in those drinks that made me see somebody in the mirror, but not in the booth.
See who?
Whom?
Quite right, Mr. Bevis. Whom? Objective case.
Wait a minute. Now, where are you hiding?
Nowhere, Mr. Bevis. I'm right here.
Hey, how'd you do that?
An exceedingly simple trick. You've heard the saying, now you see it, now you don't. Care for a cigar? They're Cuban, you know. Nothing but the best where I come from. You might say we get them duty-free.
No, thanks. How do you know my name?
Oh, I could say I overheard it from the bartender or some such. But if the truth be told, we do have our ways.
And who exactly might you be?
Ah, yes, a name. For purposes of identification, you may call me J. Hardy Hempstead.
Hey, Pete.
Yeah?
This is Mr. Hempstead.
It is, huh?
See what he wants, will you please?
Sure, Mr. Bevis. And a happy, fortified Thanksgiving to you, too.
Cheers, Mr. Hempstead.
Cheers.
Hold on. Wait till Pete brings you a drink.
But I've already got one.
Where?
Why, right here.
Oh.
To better days.
I'll drink to that. And what do you do, Mr. Hempstead?
I'm your guardian angel.
Wouldn't that be something?
But I am.
Well, I guess we're all our brother's keeper, in a manner of speaking.
Not in a manner of speaking. In actual fact. Mr. Bevis, here's the way the cookie crumbles. Several hundred years ago, one of your ancestors performed an act of great courage. Part of his reward was to have a guardian angel assigned to one of his descendants in each generation. Current subject, Mr. James B.W. Bevis. That's you, I take it?
Guilty as charged.
Good. I have your family history right here.
Oh, no. You're not selling one of those books about how to look up your family tree, are you? They always say I had a relative who came over on the Mayflower.
Hear me out, if you would. Now, in the past few generations, Mr. Bevis, I've handled some extremely solid citizens amongst your progenitors.
Handled?
Taken care of. Good care, I might add. For example, there was Magellan Bevis, an intrepid explorer of the 16th century. This is a woodcut of the gentleman in question.
Nice costume.
Then Parnell Bevis, member of the British Parliament, who fought for Home Rule against insurmountable odds. And more recently, Gunner Lou Bevis, the first Marine to hit the beach at Nicaragua.
That's Uncle Louis.
Indeed. And your picture will fit right here on the next page. As of now, you too are being watched over by yours truly, J. Hardy Hempstead, your obedient servant.
Watched over how?
Aided by minor miracles from time to time as the need arises, given a small heavenly assist when the circumstances call for it.
Well, you picked a good day for it.
I know. Today you had a rather uncomfortable time of it. What started it all was being fired from your 11th job in 18 months.
Mr. Peckinpah didn't care for zither music.
I don't much blame him. But that's neither here nor there. It so happens that I can reconstitute the whole day for you and alter it so that the final upshot will be the opposite of what it has been. In other words, Mr. Bevis, let's go back to 9 a.m. this morning. We'll rewind and start all over again.
You mean I can have the day to live over again, and it won't come out the same way?
Definitely not the same. We merely alter some of the relevant aspects, And of necessity, we must naturally perform a few alterations on your characteristics. For example, Mr. Bevis, your manner of dress.
What's wrong with it?
Are you serious about that sports coat?
I like plaid.
And that bow tie. Let's try something a little different. Brooks Brothers might make a better impression.
How did you do that?
Much better, don't you think? Nice business suit, conservative tie.
I look like an undertaker.
That may well be, but if you want the day to turn out differently, you have to be different. Shall we go, Mr. Bevis? There isn't much time.
You're really terribly nice, Mr. Hampstead.
Think nothing of it.
To go to all this trouble, whoever you really are.
I assure you this is neither personal nor sentimental, Mr. Bevis. It's merely my job.
Now he's talking to himself. Looks happy, though. Maybe I better have a shot of what he's drinking.
Good morning, Mr. Stasiak. How are you today?
Morning, Mrs. Rigiardo. Ask me after I have my coffee.
Don't be running in the hole now, little Paul.
Okay.
All right, here we are. Back where you started this morning.
Yep, this is it. Everything's the same. First, I locked my apartment. Good morning, Mrs. R. Top of the morning.
Hello.
What's the matter with her? Why isn't she talking to me?
Remember to keep your voice down. She can't see me.
She can't?
No one but you.
Hi there, Paulie.
Hi.
Aren't you going to ask me about old Ironsides? Don't worry, she's coming along.
What's old Ironsides?
Don't you bother the man now, little Paul.
That's all right, Mrs. R. We're friends. Aren't we, Paulie? Aren't we?
Go down and play with the other children. Don't you go far, and don't be crossing the street now.
I won't.
Well, what do you say, Paulie? Looks like the coast is clear. The banister's nice and shiny.
Don't even think about it.
Hey, what's going on?
That nonsense was for the old Bevis. You're the new Bevis, remember?
Morning, everybody. I don't know, Mr. Hempstead. Think about it. If I don't slide down the banister anymore, I'm losing a good 15 seconds. That's a minute and a quarter a week, 5 minutes a month.
Straighten your tie. You're late.
Who's going to carry my briefcase?
You can do it.
What about this pocket full of new pennies?
Not in this suit.
Morning, Tony. Where's my apple?
You want an apple, mister? That'll be 25 cents.
Let's go.
Oh, Mrs. Chatfield.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Bevis.
I wanted to talk to you about the rent.
Oh, I found it in the box. 3 weeks in advance. You're a wonderful, wonderful roomer, Mr. Bevis.
That's a switch. This part I don't mind at all. Only, where are the kids?
They're busy playing, I presume, as children are wont to do.
But who's going to help me push start my car?
That won't be necessary.
I don't even see my Essex. Oh, no. Did somebody tow it away?
Correction. You don't own an Essex. This is your car.
But this is a sports car. A little foreign sports car.
Red's your favorite color, isn't it?
Yes, but do you think it fits? With everything else, I mean?
Mr. Bevis, live it up, will you?
But have you ever driven an Essex?
My dear sir, I have driven a chariot with 11 horses. I'm the guy responsible for Ben-Hur winning the race. That Essex went out with the old Bevis. You're a different person now. No more zither music. No more Christmas carolers in the office. Though the latter idiosyncrasy met with some approval from the organization. Now, here are your new car keys. Go ahead, give it a spin.
Hey, Paulie, look at this. Want to take it for a test drive? He acts like he doesn't even know me.
Shall we go, Mr. Bevis?
Yeah, okay.
Better times are ahead, I promise.
If you say so.
Well, here we are, Mr. Bevis. Looks like the office is already humming.
Where's my desk?
Same place it's always been. Right over there.
But it doesn't look the same. Somebody's already cleaned it out.
No such thing. Your workday hasn't started yet. Look at the clock. You're not even late. It's only 8:58.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mr. Bevis.
Where's my gooseneck lamp? And the clock I want at the carnival? And midnight? And Rocky? was the ship I was building.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Good morning, Bevis.
Good morning, sir.
Friends and associates, a moment, please. Everyone, I should like you to hear a bit of good news. As of this day, Mr. James B.W. Bevis is being given a raise in salary 10% a week. May I add, Bevis, your work is admirable, and since you've been with us for 11 months now, I think a raise is very much in order.
A raise, Mr. Peckinpah?
Quite right, Bevis, quite right.
Thank you, sir.
Think nothing of it. The least we could do, considering.
Mr. Peckinpah, sir.
Yes, Bevis?
What about the
Yes?
zither music and the Christmas carolers?
The zither music? The Christmas carolers? I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. Bevis, you no longer have an interest in any of that nonsense.
Oh.
Oh, what?
Nothing, sir.
Very well, then. See you later, Bevis, and keep up the good work.
Why, this desk looks absolutely nude. It doesn't look decent somehow. Margaret, where is old Ironsides?
Are you feeling all right, Mr. Bevis?
I think I better get some air.
Yes, that might be a good idea.
I got a raise.
Naturally. Where are you going now? You only just arrived.
Outside for some air. Or I might go back to my place.
So early in the day?
I was thinking maybe I'll play some stickball with the kids in the street.
Mr. Bevis.
Yeah?
They won't play with you.
Why not?
You're not the same, Bevis. Not anymore.
You mean everything's changed? Even that?
It's only today that we can see the changes. Actually, they started some time ago.
I'm beginning to understand.
Good. Well, Mr. Bevis, still want to get on the elevator?
Yes, I think I will.
Why? Things seem to be going your way, don't they?
I guess they are, Mr. Hempstead.
Bevis, what do you say we level with one another? I mean, really, what is it you want? After all, for a person like yourself, 10% is the most even I can get for you. Frankly, I don't get you. I'm used to Bevises with big dreams, gigantic hopes, fantastic aspirations. Magellan Bevis sailing around the Horn, Parnell Bevis standing alone in Parliament booming out his convictions, Gunner Lou Bevis, over-the-top men, semper fidelis, nobody lives forever, let's go, boys! That was the spirit.
Mr. Hempstead, sir, I don't want to seem ungrateful. But the things I want, the things I believe in, I know they're odd, but they're worth considerably more than 10% a week.
I take it then that you prefer your bow ties and plaid coat and old Ironsides.
I'm afraid that's the case.
And you realize things will be as they were. There'll be no job, no car, no place to live for a while.
It's been that way before.
I see.
Complicated, is it?
Hardly. Take a look out the window.
Hey, there's my old Essex down at the curb.
You'd best feast your eyes. It won't be around for very long. The truck will hit it as previously ordained. You'd better go back in for a minute and get it over with. Here comes old Peckinpah now. This time he won't be talking about a raise.
You know something? It doesn't make a bit of difference. Not one bit.
And whose desk is this?
Mr. Bevis's, sir.
And where is our Mr. Bevis this morning?
I'm sure I couldn't say, Mr. Peckinpah.
Well, Margaret, when you do happen to see the gentleman who occupies this museum of junk, kindly tell him that I should like to see him personally. If and when he finally deigns to report for work, that is.
Once more into the breach.
How do you feel, bud? Fortified?
I do indeed. Today I lost my job, my car, and I've been evicted, or I'm about to be all over again. But you know, I love zither music and model ships. And if I can't bring kids into an office at Christmas time to sing carols, then what's the point of being alive?
Beats me.
Well, there really is no point. There is no point at all. I'm going to try and find a job, an apartment, and then I'm going to finish Old Ironsides for a little boy 8 years old with a dirty face who happens to love model ships just the same as I do. Wait a minute. That's my car. Mr. Hempstead, wherever you are, you're still watching over me. You must be.
This your car, buddy?
Yes, it most certainly is, officer. And you don't know. You can't imagine how glad I am to find it here. You see, a truck tapped the bumper and it rolled down the street because I didn't have the handbrake on. That was the first time, of course. But now, thanks I'm sure to Mr. Hempstead.
Well, I don't know any Hempstead. And I don't care if it's the first time or the 100th time.
What are you doing?
Writing you a ticket. In this city, we kind of take a dim view of parking next to a hydrant.
You mean a fire hydrant?
Big and red, right there by your front fender.
What hydrant is that, officer?
Hey! Where'd it go?
I think I have a pretty good idea. Still with me, Mr. Hempstead?
Still with you, Mr. Bevis. Still with you.
Mr. James B.W. Bevis, who believes in magic, the magic of a child's smile, the magic of liking many and various people and things and being liked in return, and the strange and wondrous mysticism that is the simple act of living. Mr. Bevis, one species of the modern male who lives in his own private and very special Twilight Zone.
Hi, this is Carl Amari, producer of the Twilight Zone radio dramas. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about our official website at twilightzoneradio.com, where you'll get the latest news and information on these Twilight Zone radio dramas. Plus, at twilightzoneradio.com, you can digitally download 3 free episodes or any of our episodes for only $1.95 each. In this age of ever-changing technology, we've decided to make these episodes instantly available to you by making the Twilight Zone radio dramas a digital download-only series. This means that this series will no longer be offered on CD. The CD collections at our website are now being offered, while supplies last, at buy one, get one free. So be sure to get your favorites before they're sold out. Be sure to visit us often, and I'll see you in the zone.
Mr. Bevis, starring Bruno Kirby with Stacy Keach as your narrator, was adapted for radio by Dennis Etchison and written for The Twilight Zone by Rod Serling. Heard in the cast were David Darlow, Christian Stolte, Fernette Lebo, Jeff Lupetin, Linda Ryder, Meg Thalken, Max Kirsch, Carrie Darlow, Riley Baugh, Kurt Nabig, Doug James, Carl Amari, and Vince Amari. To learn more about the Twilight Zone radio dramas and to obtain audio cassettes and CDs of these programs, visit our website at twilightzoneradio.com. The producers of The Twilight Zone wish to thank CBS Enterprises, Carol Serling, Dennis Etchison, Dick Brescia Associates, Claire Simon Casting, Terry Jennings, XM Satellite Radio, Sirius Satellite Radio, our sponsors, and our radio affiliates for helping make this series possible. This copyrighted radio series is produced and directed by Carl Amari and Jason Mallow for Falcon Picture Group. Doug James speaking.